Hello, Bible beauties. Welcome to Faith Filled Friday, y'all. I why do I always say this? But it's true. I am really super excited about today and that you are here. In part, why I'm so pumped is because I have my friend, one of my besties, Miss Shayna, aka the Fashion Chase here. You know her very well. We have our own YouTube channel together. God, help us figure out how we're gonna get back to it. But if you want to go ahead and subscribe to her, she's a YouTuber. We're going to talk about all the ways you can follow her and get into the amazing things that are Miss Shayna Berkeley. Okay. But I am pumped to have her a part of this series, which is the That Chick series. You know, we need to be that chick because we serve that God, period. I'm excited to have her a part of this series because she really is that chick. She really does embody that. And moreover, she's been instrumental in me becoming that chick myself when it comes to style, fashion, embracing who I am. All right. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and bring in the queen herself.
Hey
Hey,
y'all.
love.
Hey friends. I'm very excited to be on the channel today. Thanks for the invite.
It's the pleasure is all mine. So I know that I sent you some questions, and we're gonna get right into it. But before we do, will you just tell the people a little bit about like who is the Fashion Chase, why you exist, what do you do, why are we here today?
Yes, honey, we here to serve the Lord. Hallelujah. Okay, no.
We are.
So my name is Shayna Berkeley. I am a personal stylist. What does that mean? That means that I help corporately creative women find and redefine their personal style. So corporately creative women, why? Well, I used to be a lawyer about 3 years ago. For a number of years, I was a lawyer, and I was like a lawyer, but I came from Atlanta. Atlanta people have their own just swag and style, and I always was into fashion and really feel like the best part of my day is getting dressed and figuring out who I want to be and how I want to show up in the world. And so, honey, I would wear like red boots. I would wear mini dresses. I would wear pink, honey. I was giving the people fashion, okay? Catwalk on the sidewalk. And at first, right, they were laughing, like, what do you have on? But then they were curious, like, what do you have on? And then they were a part of it. So they would come in and say, look what I have on. And so I started finding, like, okay, this is something. People would ask for advice or want shopping tips or send me pictures or want to go shopping together. Um, and so I was like, I don't know what this is, but it could be something. I kind of thought that I was going to be Olivia Pope, so I wasn't really thinking too much about it. Then one day I was gonna be working out because all of my friends had moved away, and I was like the youngest person in my firm by a number of years. So I worked for Tennessee, so in my department for a number of years, and so they all had like 8 o'clock bedtimes, which now I understand. But at the time, I was like, like what are we doing? Right? They had kids, they were getting married, they really were in different places in their life than I was, so it was hard for me to find friends and community. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do what all the good people do. I'm gonna get in shape. I'm still trying to get in shape. Don't worry about it. But I went to the gym and I was like, I need to get a good playlist. You know, you can't be on a treadmill without a playlist. So I
Period.
turned on Pandora, and some kind of way I went from Pandora to Facebook, which is how it always happens, right? You just keep clicking around. And I saw an ad by a woman named Mignon Francois of the Cupcake Collection in Nashville. She was talking about a business class called the Academy, and I felt like something leap inside of me. The Lord be like, "Hey, this is the thing for the fashion." I always thinking it'd be like a little small side thing I did while I grew to my Olivia Popeness. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and lots of things have happened since then. But I actually left practicing law. Now I run that program, the Academy. Well, I ran that.
Right. No. She doesn't run the program. She
I,
did for a
I
few
used to
years.
run. Yeah, I used to run the program. Now that I'm the executive director of the nonprofit that has the program called Corner to Corner, and I still have the fashion chase. And so last night, for example, I was one of the stylists with the Goodwill because I sell new and new to you fashions. So I went with the Goodwill. I did a pull, a curated rack of thrifted clothes, and people came, shopped the racks. We gave some fashion advice, had a lot of fun. So yeah, that's kind of my fashion journey. It's always been a part of me. You know, it's always been something that I use for self-expression. And years later, the Lord is still using that for my own, business and a lot of fun in that.
Yeah, and empowerment in that too. Okay, so you said so much in that. First of all, let me just clarify for the people of like how God works and moves. You know, you had this vision to be Olivia Pope, and y'all, I am not feeling like this has just been my story this week. I promise I don't look this dead in real life. So, but in many ways, you are still this like what comes to mind when we think of Olivia Pope? Like you are that as the executive director of one of the greatest non-for-profits in the state of Tennessee, if not the country. Okay. And so y'all catch that. This woman is an executive director, as well as a business owner. And part of what Corner does, just throw it out there real quick for all the entrepreneurs, because a ton of entrepreneurs follow the channel. Y'all, if you want to start your business, if you want to grow your business, if you think you might possibly be like being pushed in that direction to like entrepreneurship, then you need to reach out to Corner. That's how I started my business, and the rest is history, y'all. It's talk to us about it, but that's not why we here today. But we might have to have Miss Shayna back for that. So thank you for sharing how we got to this place, the fashion chase. So since you've owned your business for some time now, what's your overall mission or goal for the fashion chase?
Yeah, for the fashion chase, I really want to help women redefine who they already are. And so I say that is like before kids, right? Or before responsibility or before whatever it is. Women rode motorcycles. They were skateboarders. I mean, there are professional judges who have sleeve tattoos, right? They were really finding themselves in self-expression. And so adulthood and, the church or motherhood or being somebody's wife or being whatever you identify an executive director can sometimes strip us of exactly who we are or who we want to be. And so of course you can't be, at least some of us, honey, can't be on the table twerking maybe like you used to when you was 2021. I watched the video, girl, what you gonna tell your younger self or something like that, right? But you can still find who you are, do it on purpose. That's a Dolly Parton quote. And express yourself, particularly through fashion. So I have the luxury of being able to wear a crop top on a Tuesday because that's how I roll. If that's not your ministry, right, then you can say, what about this color, this shape, this fabric, this pairing, these accessories makes me feel most like myself? And then incorporate that into what you can wear in certain places, and then really find or create other spaces where you can wear what you want to wear and be who you, not who you want to be per se, but just who you are. If that makes sense.
I think that's absolutely beautiful. And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with you. This whole, I haven't heard you use those words before, or maybe I have, but like redefine who they were. For me, like we were created in God's image. Before we were formed in our mom's womb, God knew us.
Right.
So life, as you talked about, will rob us, will strip us of all the things that God intentionally placed in us. And I love that your business is a ministry in that it gets women, or you have male clients too, but predominantly women,
right,
back to the essence of who God made you to be. And for me in my journey, all the things you said, when I became a mom of girls, when I got married, and when I became more heavily involved in church, I lost who I was, because y'all saw it from the video Shayna alluded to. If it wasn't short and the heels weren't high, the dress was short and the heels were high, I wasn't gonna wear it. And so when all these life things happen, it's like, oh, y'all, I did not wear shorts for like 3.5 years. And I only wore a pair of shorts because I had to go to camp for ministry. And I was like, okay, I guess I gotta wear shorts. Like, that's how real it got. And we're going to get into, like, if you're in this place of like, I feel this way because I'm a Christian and because church says I can't wear this, and what does it mean to be modest? We're going to get into all that, but I do just I wanted to reiterate that there. Like, it's so true. Life does strip us of who we were, but God made us who we were. So we gotta stay true. I think in staying true to that, we're staying true to God and better able to find the purpose that He created us for. Sorry, I know I said a lot.
You're great.
All right, so let's actually stay there for a second, and then I'll get back to these questions. But if a woman is like, yeah, I know that I want to do something more in my fashion world. I want to look like the God I serve, and I want to honor Him. But I don't know where to start, and I feel like women can't wear this, and I can't do that. What advice, tips do you have for someone in that boat?
Yeah, first of all, I would really go back to it being a mindset, because it's one thing to say, I no longer have the time, space, energy to wear something short, tight, high heels. I got a 1-year-old. That's one thing, right? It's another thing to have a mindset of I can't wear this because of my own body or how people perceive me. Because we also have, it's interesting, in lots of ways in our lives, we have more grace to ourselves than we do other people. We'll lie to somebody and say, you know, I'm just gonna tell them I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes, knowing you ain't left your house. But if somebody did that to you, it's unacceptable, right? So we have a lot more grace towards ourselves than other people, except in my experience when it comes to the way that we see our bodies. We will tear our bodies down. I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. My stomach too big. My hair too short. My eczema. But then when you look at your children or your friends or somebody you see in the street, you don't see that. Or you projecting how you see yourself on other people, right? So it's a vicious cycle. And so if it's a mindset thing, I would say, hey, excavate that a little bit. Let's go deeper, because I need to understand in the Bible where God said we can't wear this, or Jesus said we can't wear that, or how we need to wear it. Even the idea of modesty, right? If you look in the Bible, sure, you can show me places where the Lord talks about modesty, but the definition of modesty and how it's carried out in modern times is defined by men.
Yeah.
What modest is, the way that we see it, yeah, you can read a definition in the Bible, but like how it's lived out, it's defined by religious leaders or political leaders, or whoever the leaders are defined by men. But those same men, in the same breath, will then cheat on you with this girl, right? Or then will look twice at this girl, or will make this girl a millionaire because her OnlyFans page, where she's wearing a lot less than what he proclaims is an acceptable amount. So we cannot measure ourselves and our fashion and our sense of worth on how men, how the patriarchy, how religious leaders, how people have defined what modesty is. If we want to get real about it, modesty in the Bible is a mindset. Everything it talks about is a mindset. So for me, you can follow me on Instagram, honey. I wear a crop top, I wear a tight dress, I like a little sheer number. I like, right? But I have, when I was, I'll tell y'all, I'll be honest with y'all, because I know my ex not watching. I used to have Snapchat a long time ago, right? And I would get on, like, put on clothes, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I know he gonna like this. And I'd put like a snap. The outfit wasn't bad, but my intention to, I mean, seduce is a strong word, because it wasn't like, but to just make him feel like, ooh, look what I'm missing, blah, blah, blah. The Lord used to check me with that and say, oh, okay, I can't trust you to have an outfit on that you think he'll like and not try to tempt him. Go put on a coat in July. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because my intentions were not pure. My intentions were not modest. My intentions were to be a stumbling block in front of my brethren, aka my ex, right? And if your intention is that, you can have that same intention in a long sleeve turtleneck dress. You can have that at church.
Yes.
The prayer cloth over your lap, but you got your legs crossing a certain way, or you're leaning forward a certain way. It's not about the clothes, it's about your mindset. So I would say excavate your understanding of modesty, your intention behind the clothes that you wear, and then what you really like, what feels like it expresses you, what works for your daily life. If you live in Houston, you better put some shorts on.
Yeah.
And then down the period, you're going to pass out dead with a long sleeve, thickums, maxi dress on, because you feel like that's pleasing to the Lord, and you're going to go see the Lord in Kingdom Come, and he's going to be like, it wasn't even that serious, it wasn't even all that. At least he wore sandals.
Yeah.
You can't even wear sandals. Come on, man.
Yes, I'm hearing like I'm hearing be not conformed to the ways of this world when you talk
Right.
about like modesty is really defined by men. Yes, the Bible talks about modesty, but what we've created that to mean in our culture, in our society, is perhaps not what God meant. And it really is. We know this whole walk with Jesus is heart work. It is like you said, it's about your mind, it's about your heart. God, I want my heart turned toward you. And God will lead and guide you on what is and what is not acceptable. He will lead and guide you on your intentions. And like, ma'am, you out of line right there. Absolutely not. So yes, I love it. And something else you said, so we're going to take with us, modesty is a mindset. I also love when you said how we have so much grace toward others, more than toward others, except when it comes to our bodies. I'm just reminded that any way that we insult ourselves is sinful,
Yeah.
because we are verbally attacking, we are insulting something that God created, something that He loves, something that He took His time on. So nope, just gotta shut that down right now. We got a few people in the chat. Hey y'all, love you. I wanted to put this back on the screen from Dale when she said yes, come on, crop tops, because you and I had already started a friendship, and but something like I can't fully remember the day, but I remember the moment. I was watching one of your IG stories, and I knew you were in ministry at our church, and you had on a crop top, and I just was like, I didn't know. It wasn't like she got on.
Yeah.
I was just like, I didn't know Christian women could wear a crop top.
I don't
Like,
know about them, but this one can, and I'm gonna be right up in heaven on the front row. First, I'm gonna be in Genesis. Every street in heaven probably got a Bible name. I'm in the front. Me, Rosa Parks, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? We in the building, okay? Period.
I love it. So, with that being said, what is modesty for Shayna? What does that mean?
Yeah, modesty for me is I'm a single woman, right? And I tell people all the time, like, I'm Christian, but baby, I'm a woman. I have the same thoughts, desires that married women have, that single women have, that mothers have. And so modesty for me is when I start liking someone or when I start dating someone, I have to be more aware of my intentions in that case. Because just based on the fact that I'm highly autonomous, it's natural for me not to care what people think about my outfit. Like I have TikTok, and people be on TikTok and they just say what they want. And you know what? It's okay if you don't like it. You can keep scrolling. And when you leave a negative comment, I'm just gonna delete it because it wasn't for you, the individual, right? It was for you, the collective fashion women world, to just say, okay, well, I don't like how she did that, but I like the fact that she wore what she wanted to wear. Let me take that same thing on myself. So modesty for me is it really during the course of my life. It's the mindset of like I'm being pleasing to God. When I put on something, me and the Holy Spirit cool enough for Him to know, like, nah, sis, that ain't the one. That ain't the one. But I also know that it's enough of the ones out there that I don't have that scarcity mindset that I feel like, oh, I gotta get this. But when it comes to dating and relationships, particularly like if you like somebody and you're still in that introduction phase, it can get real tricky because then the enemy starts telling you like, okay, well, you're competing with other women, he's dating around, you trying to date around, blah blah blah. You see this on the internet, you like this, men like this, when y'all were just friends or his ex or you start getting all these thoughts about what he would like and what would make him attracted to you. And I think that's where that modesty kind of comes off the rails because now I'm trying to impress a man who knows his heart but him and the Lord, right? And so really it can get real tricky. So you start defaulting to things that you know about men, what men like, which is short, tight, sexy, and that's a slippery slope. So that's kind of a long answer to that.
No. That's really good though, because also at that point it becomes idolatry. Because it's like it's about what you want me to wear, what you're into, and even not just a man, but also like other Christian women or other Christian environments. Like what do they want? What do they think? What's important to them? How do they feel about it? Like no. At no point. I love this about you. You're always going to wear what you want to wear, and because you are a woman of God, your integrity is one that could be trusted. I know that whatever you choose to wear is, like you said, it's straight between you and God, as opposed to you saying, nah, I'm not going to trust me and my relationship with Holy Spirit enough to dress me. I'm going to go and see what the world says, what everybody else has to say. Again, it's giving idolatry. It's very much giving
that's
idolatry.
a good way. I've never thought about that. That's so good, because I even growing up, it would make me cringe when pastors would preach about what women wore, particularly, because they always felt old. I'm like, you got on the zoot suit from the 1940s, and you got the nerve, right? But also, it felt like judgment in a way that was counter to what I was understanding in the body of Christ. So I'm like, I'm understanding that, God is love, and I'm understanding, even if you're thinking of woman woman at the well, he did tell her, like, hey, all the men you sleeping with ain't none of them your husband, sis.
Right.
Keep yourself together. But the way that he said it was questioning, bring your husband to me. Now he know she had no husband, but it was a way for her to know, oh wow, what I thought I was doing, who I thought I was, who I thought I had to be, or who I thought they knew me to be, I get to choose. I get to choose. And so that always felt weird to me. Now, I'm not saying if you're watching this and you're a pastor or you're a women teacher or whatever, like, you shouldn't talk about the way people dress, because I think that as a body of Christ, the Lord has called us to have guidance from our spiritual leaders. But if the Lord hasn't called you to be somebody's spiritual leader or their parent or their friend or their trusted advisor, then where are we drawing a line to where that's not your place to say? And you're not teaching people to lean into the Holy Spirit in and of themselves to make decisions. You're teaching them to come to you as the end all, the be all, to be their idol, right? And the whole point of our kingdom walk is to say, no, my whole job is to point you back to Christ. I don't know. Because the same way that God can tell Yasmine to have 4 kids, he could tell me to have no kids. And if I'm looking to her as and she's like, girl, yeah, women were made to procreate, blah, blah, blah. But what is the Holy Spirit telling me about the life that he's called me to live? And we see all the time in the Bible where he's called women to have kids, to not have kids, to have kids late, to have kids early, to have kids like Mary without a husband, but with Jesus, to dedicate their kids back to Christ, right? It all looks so differently. And you can't put a box on how women should think, live, act, dress, walk, or men either. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I just always refer back to Isaiah 55. Like, his ways are not my ways, his thoughts are not my thoughts. All of us got this wrong. And it's never going to be clear until we get to heaven. So why, like, the best thing I can do is just trust what I feel to be the Holy Spirit in me. Because, again, we all wrong. So why am I looking to you, to this, to that, to no. Okay. So I love it. I love it. And as women of God, we say when you look good, you feel good, you can do good things. As a woman of God, if you're never going to put on something and feel good and great in it, if it is displeasing to God, like, you might wear it, but after the fact, Holy Spirit's going to convict you. Or even when you put it, something's not going to be right. So you just got to trust. We got to trust God ultimately.
Or listen, if you going to wear it, the Lord know your heart. Right. So if you're not wearing it because you think that other people are going to see you as holy, but in your heart, you really want to do something else or have something else, honey, wear it, because the Lord is judging your heart anyway. And there are going to be times where you wear things and you're like, oh, that one to move. Or I had a great time in that, girl. Now, Lord, I'm back. I'm sorry, Lord. I done stepped out to the side. But all of that is a part of the walk. All that is a part of the walk. And I mean, obviously we're talking about fashion, but fashion is just like anything else in our spiritual life. I believe the Lord takes me through a lot of things so I can have empathy and understanding for other people. And so it's all a part of it. If you've never gone out more on one list, then how are you going to understand people who are in that moment and then tell them either, girl, this is just a moment, it's all right. Or if you're seeking, I can help you. I can show you the one, right? Show you the kingdom. Show you the God that I serve. If you don't understand them, you can't reach them because they like
facts.
You don't know about what I'm talking about.
Facts. So true. So true. So I'm being reminded, and maybe you guys saw this on TikTok, but I'm always quoting 2 Corinthians 12 verses 7 through 9, where, Paul says my grace is sufficient. But in that, he's talking to the church at Corinth. He changes his tone from chapter 11 to chapter 12 to be this more boastful, ostentation, big personality style, because that is what resonates with his audience. And he's like, the mindset is like, you're thinking little of me, which is then causing you to think little of the God that I'm telling you about. So when you talk about empathy for others, we also have to have relevance and some cultural responsiveness. Like, I remember being in college and going to church whenever I went home, and there were worship women on stage, and I was like, man, I want that kind of like worship and relationship, because they looked fly.
Right.
They looked fly, and that's what appealed to me as a teenager. So it's just like, if we, and I know most of the women in the chat, if we are ministering to women, serving women, empowering women. As a woman, you mentioned there are things that we like. We like to look nice. We like to feel good. So if you're not showing up, it's like, I'm not about to listen to you, because if that's how your God look, then that ain't. And it's like, y'all, now y'all know I will look a whole hot mess intentionally and not really care about it. But I'm just saying, we have to find the place where we're okay to be dressed up, to be whatever it is to us that makes us feel like we are in our style.
To dress like yourself as well, because I don't want you to hear the other way, right? I mean, Mary, part of the reason why Mary made it big in the gospel world is because they was fresh. And they used to always joke, like, one of us gonna be Thickums and the other one gonna be skinny. So wherever you were in your life, if you were in a Thickums phase, you can look to Tina, and then, or if you was pregnant, you can look to, Erica. They always was like, the fashions are coming no matter where we are in our stage of life. And that made the difference for them versus feeling like they had to be super duper covered up. The same way CeCe Winans. She was a lot more modern. She was from a different generation of gospel music. But baby, when I tell you her face was beat, that hair was laid, and the sequence was coming, she was like, one thing y'all gonna get is a sequence robe today, yesterday, and forevermore. She gonna give you a little razzle dazzle.
Yes.
That matters, because your mama will let you dress raggedy walking out her house. Why? Because you represent her. But when you get on the stage, you looking all covered up, but you representing the king.
Right.
And that can look and feel different. Hear that. That can look and feel different based on who you are. That could look like sweatpants and J's. That could look like, crop tops. That could look like how Sarah Jake's dressed. That could look like how, any of your favorite first ladies or your favorite Christian teachers or your favorite school teacher, or we all represent the king.
Amen.
You don't have to be at church to be a representation of Christ and to be in ministry. So if you show up as the person that you are, you're given permission to do the same. And who gave you the permission to show up? God. And now permission to show up. Show up as a single mom at 16 and show out. Show up as a single woman at 32, and show out, because that also is stigma to that. Show up as a boss, show up as a stay-at-home mom, show up as somebody who ain't got their life together, but honey, they trying. Show up as whoever you are in this moment, because God qualified us, not what we wear, not what you think.
That's so good. So much truth in that. Like, just all the things, drop the mic, I'm here for it. But I want to reiterate this. It is it's not somebody else's style. You don't have to be Tina, Sarah Jakes. You don't have to be the fashion chase. Like, whatever your style is, do that. But it goes the same. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna be stylish and fashionable, that means I got to do Sarah Jakes Roberts. But if I'm gonna be modest and clothed up, that means I got to be, I don't even have an example for that, right? No, none of that. In either situation, I am conforming to the world. I just need to, as we keep going back, trust what God already placed inside of me. What am I drawn to? For sure. And I wrote, okay. It was just so much stuff that you said in that I'm so here for. What we got in the chats, we just got some amens and all the things.
Hey, everybody. Sorry.
And if you don't know, Shayna cannot see the comments, so, but I got you. I'm gonna try
I got the comments on.
See, she good. I was like, I can't focus on more than one thing. All right. I don't know where I want to go because we've just been having a conversation. So I'm like, where should I go in the questions?
Does anybody have questions about fashion or style or finding their style? Because that's kind of something that Yas and I bonded over when we first met. She had, I mean, I guess we know each other for what, maybe 2 or 3 years, Yasmin. So you had a one stay-at-home child. She wasn't even in kindergarten yet, and then the twins, and then you had a teenager,
high schooler.
yeah. And so you're like, I got all these little girls, right? And then I got this big boy, and he's doing all the things he want to do, and he's having graduation coming up in a little bit, and things that you wanted to do for him. Then you also were married, and you're like, okay, we done had kids our whole marriage, so let's see how we can do that, right? So sometimes you're trying to find yourself again in this current space. And so that was been that's been very fun for Yas and I to figure out where her style is and how it comes up and the things that she does and how to translate things that I will pull for her. Like, these are fashion, Christian author, speaker clothes, but like, what does it look like to wear these when you take your kids to the park or whatever, right? And so, I mean, what do you think are some takeaways where you're thinking about when you're shopping, and then maybe I can share some things that I think about.
Yes, please let us know in the chat, ladies, and pose any questions. Y'all, you've been so instrumental to my life and my journey in that in just a short time. I'm so glad that you took it there. So as the ladies put their questions in the chat, I want to say two things because I'm going to forget this. I want to talk about, like, what is your styling process for you and then even for your clients. But I got to say this because it touches on previous point in the conversation. I lost my style when I became what for me was a definition of a woman of God. Like, I am all about Jesus. I'm in the word. I serve in ministry. I serve in my church. I serve in outside ministries. I got these kids. Like, I am a woman of God. So in that, like, I immediately lost my style. And the issue with that is that I lost myself. So you will see in the last 2 years, essentially since I've known or become friends with Shayna, it's probably been 3 years at this point, or going on 3. But I've changed. I am more alive. I am more unapologetic in my faith, in what I believe about Christ. And so that is why this live is so important. We have to find whatever our style is, because when we're trying to be somebody else's definition of modest or a woman of God, we're losing the core of who we are. And it's harder to show up trying to be somebody else. If you like big earrings, wear them. If you don't like earrings, don't. If you like lashes, go for it. If you like sweats, go for it, because there are people connected to that part of your style. There's somebody drawn to that. It's going to start a conversation. It's going to, like, that they're going to see the God in you through you being you. And it's so vital. So anyway, I went on a tangent. Definitely give us some questions in the chat. But Miss Shayna, what is your styling process?
Yes. So that's interesting. So the styling process, and let me kind of take it back to if you were styling yourself, because I think as a stylist, I can visualize things a little bit differently than most women. And so giving my process may not be as helpful as if you're thinking about, okay, what's your process? First thing I recommend is, like, having time. Don't, until you get really good at having an eye for what you like or who you are, don't just be like, I got 20 minutes, I'm about to run into the mall. Like, that is going to be very overwhelming, and you're not going to know where to go. So the first thing I would do is,
and you're gonna get something that's hideous or they're just not you. I'm saying
right, that don't fit, or that fits the mold, but it's not where you're trying to go. Because as you're creating something, just like in any other part of your life, you have to iterate. You have to allow yourself to make mistakes. You can't put too much pressure on it. And, like, it shouldn't be, I have a formal gala for my husband's job on Friday. It's Tuesday. Let me run into the mall. That's going to be disappointing and frustrating every time. So the first thing I would do right now is, if you're on your phone, if you're not on your phone, I would follow 10 to 15 fashion girls who you like. I love chaotic fashion. I like women who put on random stuff and who wear brooches and, more is more and less is a bore. Like, that's my vibe.
More
So
is more, less is a bore.
I follow women who are over the top, who extra, who got it all going on. If that's not your style, then follow people who are more jeans and a t-shirt. Follow moms. Follow people in that realm that feel like they are kindred spirits to you. 10 or 15 of them. Maybe put them on your favorites or something like that, and just see what they're wearing, where they're going, how they're talking about fashion. And nowadays it's so easy to describe to find new pages, because you can just go to the Reels tab and just kind of scroll. You can put in a hashtag motherhood fashion or something like that. You can go on Pinterest and put in, let's say you just bought, like, this is a sleeveless long vest, right? So you can put in sleeveless long vest, or gilet, or tan trench coat, like whatever you may have a piece in your closet, you can put that in Pinterest, and then just save stuff that you like. Just find out what you like. You don't even know. We encourage our kids to explore and discover. And for us, we eat the same dinner every day. We don't even know what we like.
Yeah, that's good. That's true.
What you like. And then from there, see how you can recreate it. So if you're saying, all right, Shayna, Monday through Thursday, I look a mess, I ain't got nowhere to go, nobody see me, that's fine. On Fridays, even though nobody sees me, because it's not about people seeing you, it's about you seeing yourself, okay? You walking past the mirror and
yourself.
Oh, shoot.
That spoke to me. Like, I gotta see me. Yes, go.
See me. I gotta feel me. I gotta be with me. I have to live in my own body. Like, that is a real thing. So if you're, let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, shout out to y'all, but because you're stay-at-home mom, nobody sees you, right? You wake up, you go to the drive-thru to take your kids to school, you come home, you clean up, you go pick them up, you may go to the park, but normally it's you and your kids, they see you, see them, your husband know what's up, right? You have to see yourself. So at least give yourself one day a week where when you see yourself, right? Mm-hmm. When you see yourself, you see the reflection of, my Father is the Most High. He owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. Baby, ain't no, I can move mountains. Peace be still. I got the power, period. Okay?
Yes.
Dress like that. One day a week.
Yeah.
Using the stuff you have in your closet. Give yourself some mommy time where you go to a thrift store and you just say, if it's overwhelming, because it is a lot, you love jackets. I love a blazer. You go to the thrift store, you look through the blazer section, you see what you can see, and you leave. You don't have to explore the whole store. You don't have to always find something. You go to the place that feels like home. If that's t-shirts, if that's swimsuits, go there and leave. After that, you'll get good. You don't want to go from one section to the other, and that'll grow to you being able to shop the store. When you go to Target, look around for yourself. And if it's, because Target is a little expensive, people are like, I'm going to spend $100. I don't. I go in there, I see what I like, and I go find a little cheaper. But it's about the experience. It's about the hunt. If you don't like shopping, this will also make it better, because you'll be able to get down to a science what you want, what you like, what works, what doesn't work. You can look at something and say, that ain't gonna fit. That's not gonna fit. I got big old boobs. That's not gonna fit. That comes from trial and error. The same way you learn how to multiply, the same way you learn how to write, the same way you learn anything that you know is from practice, trial and error. In the same way, figuring out who you are, figuring out what looks good on you. One thing you gotta do every day is get dressed. Mm-hmm. Put on something. You don't have to do your hair every day. You don't have to read a book every day. You don't have to go to work every day. You don't even have to drive every day, but you have to put something on your body every day. Why not figure out what that feels like for you? So I think that'll be a good process. For me and my clients, I'm good at body types. I need to figure out where you're going. I kind of figure out your personality. I figure out what I think you'll like, but I also figure out what I think you want. And I kind of mash those together. Like, this is your comfort zone, but this is me pushing you a little bit. And then I pull it off. We do like an hour styling session. You get what you like. So I'm making it a lot easier, but I'm not with you all the time, and I can't help you do every single thing. And so I want to empower you to know yourself. I shouldn't know you better than you know yourself. We're discovering this together.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I wrote down 2 things I don't want to forget, but here is Shayna and I met on a corner. I just want to say that because it's like we was outside on a corner, girl. Shayna and I, yes, we met outside on a corner outside of an event. And shortly thereafter, she was like, I style, and I was like, okay, well, I would love for you to style me. I went to her home, having had like a 10-minute conversation with her.
Yeah.
It was like she knew me when Sonny knew me, which was like high school days, college. I ain't play with the people. I'm just like, and she totally got me. It was like it's like she knew the old me, but she understood where I was as a wife and a mom and a woman serving in ministry. I don't know how she did it, other than like she really is anointed to do this. She like, this is the way you empower people. This is the way God uses you to bless his kingdom. Like, you really are a blessing. And I'm saying that right here because you are a personal stylist, and you are my personal stylist. Now, if I look a hot mess, you got no credit. But there are most times if I look nice, like most of what I got on is from the fashion chase. Like from my birthday dinner video from last week, those sparkly pants, Shayna, that top with the rhinestones around it, Shayna. So like most videos, I'm not even kidding you. But I want to say that
on vacation, I'm like, I'm gonna bring you some options, girl.
Yeah, exactly.
In my suitcase.
We went on vacation, and like she said, like, and she had to do her thing. So if you are looking for a stylist, Shayna really is your piece. And you might feel like, I ain't got no money, girl. I ain't had no money for no stylist either. Like, I don't, but we have to me, it was an investment in, and it was, I mean, like, you are so affordable for what you do, but it was an investment into my purpose, into who God created me to be, into myself. As moms, we have to create that space. So do you do virtual? So I know the answer for me.
Yes. The answer for me is FaceTime.
Yes.
Hey, look at this outfit. Oh, okay.
Right.
I do virtual styling. I think I'm gonna start like a subscription box. It's something I want to start this year. And just mailing that out once a year and kind of helping people incorporate it into their closet. Because the beautiful thing about being in person is you almost can get a new closet with me, and I could come see yours. These things work together. Yeah, Yasmine came shopping and she texted me after, was like, I just got rid of everything else because it like didn't work together. I'm like, you could have. She's like, nah. No. How dare I have sequin, leggings and an oversized blazer next to this like ratty old t-shirt?
Right. And so no, had to go.
And so, it's really just about, I think I appreciate you saying I'm anointed for that, but it's just fun. It's just like, listen, I'm going to push you a little bit because you was not team sequin leggings. That was not your vibe. Now, and the other one that you loved, but you was not sure about was the oversized suit. I don't know if you remember that either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I was like, girl, come on. And it was a little bit more androgynous, a little bit more, and I think you like the sequin pants, but you were like, where am I going to wear this? And I was like, at the grocery store. Like, who decides where we're wearing this? It's Tuesday. Okay, yeah. Jesus died on a Friday. Let's just, okay, like,
yes.
No, you never know, because if you're saving those things for a special occasion, that day may or may not come. And frankly, the Bible tells us every day is a special occasion.
That part,
like, do you know what it took for you to get up today? And do you know how many people did not get up today?
Yeah.
So every day that you open your eyes is a special occasion, and therefore it should be celebrated as such in some way, shape, or form. But I do virtual styling, and what I would normally do is just like kind of talk to you a little bit, get to know you, look on your Instagram. I mean, and you kind of have to be okay with a little bit of a challenge. Some people really like to stay in their box, but my job and my call is to say, but what if you showed up as your full self?
Yes.
Fashion. Because when we met, and we'll have to find a picture. Yes, maybe you can put it on your Instagram if I find that picture. I don't know where it is, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to a fun.
I remember your outfit. I see the shoes vividly. The hair.
Oh yeah, I have some gold stilettos, y'all. A black pencil skirt. That's what made it appropriate. The black pencil skirt for me. I was like, I don't know, black skirt. I'm fine. A gold chain belt, like a little Chanel. It's not Chanel, but it looks like that. And then a printed blouse that had like chains, and it was red, but it had like chains and kind of like a nautical feel. And then I had a big curly fro wig. Honey, I thought that was appropriate. And I was, because Now my hair was blocking everybody around probably, and this lady walked up to me and said, "I like your hair." She just grabbed it. I was like, "You not supposed to touch my hair, lady, but it's okay because it's not mine." But yeah, like that might have been my last hoorah, baby. I was hooing raw. You feel?
Yes.
So in the same way, we encourage our clients to do the same thing.
That's great. And I love this idea of like every day is a special, every single day, Jesus sits high and look low. So I can wear the sparkly pants to wherever, to the
Right.
pickup line, to the, walks to get my kids. I most certainly can. This is what I'm going to hold on to. What would happen if you showed up as your full self? Like, wow, that's so good and so deep. And I want to do that as much as possible in what I'm wearing and what I'm thinking and what I'm saying, like all of it. You mentioned, I want to get to these 2 points, but I want to also know all the ways we can take advantage and we can leverage this beautiful gift that you have. So you can do virtual styling. You have a Poshmark shop.
I do. It's at the Fashion Chase on Poshmark. I have it, most of the time, if I buy things, I'll post it on my story. So if you see something you like, just DM me. Yesterday I had these denim patchwork pants on.
I love yesterday's fit.
Thank you. And yes, everybody DM me. I had like 4 people like, "Hey, can I buy those pants?" I'm like, "Dang, off my body, okay." So literally, I mean, obviously I'll wash them before I send them, but literally nothing's off limits because for me, and which is not true for everybody else, right? But for me, my house is just like a revolving door of clothes and fashion and exploration. This is a very expensive hobby for me, right? So it's really a handful of things that I hold on to tightly when it comes to clothes and fashion. I want to wear it. I want to try it. I want to experience it. I want to, and then I give it back into the world. And if I sell it, or if I donate to the Goodwill, or if I sell it to a client, or if I do Poshmark or whatever. And so don't feel weird about just being like, "Oh my God, I really like that shirt." Either where'd you get it from, or then what's
Can I buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it really all is a circle for me. It's all like, how can I figure out what I like and what I don't like, what looks good, what looks great, what looks awkward. How can I make something that's old look new again? How can I make something that's super classy and preppy look a little bit chaotic? My personal style type is ghetto glam. So I love stuff that feels, native to the hood, that's, ghetto until it's proven fashionable, but also has a little bit of sparkle, has a little bit extra, has a little bit of shine to it. And so I'm constantly trying to figure out like what that looks like, and then encourage other people to just try things. Like if you don't like it, you only got to wear it once, and you get dressed 365 times a year times your age. You know how many outfits that is? Like you don't have to be bogged down with one outfit. It's not that deep.
Yeah. So much good in that. I want to talk. You mentioned how your home, her home is boutique. And she really like, even if you're like, I let Shayna know, like, oh, I have this speaking event coming up, or oh, we're going here, or our anniversary is coming up and I need something. And she will style things and put together. So even if you like, okay, for my birthday, I want to be styled. Like reach out to her. She has it, or she will find it. And she has what you can't find, and she gonna find what you can't find. But I stayed at her home when she was out of town, and it's called the Villa. And I just was in her, because her home is a boutique as well. And so I was trying on clothes within her boutique. Like our styles are very different, but she had clothes my size, she had clothes my style. Y'all, she got it. Tap into it, get it. She does an outfit of the day every day too. Yeah. So follow her over on Instagram I was about to say at Yasmine at the Fashion Chase.
At the Fashion Chase, you'll see an outfit of the day every day. And that's kind of like the agreement I have. I'm not great at posting like Yasmine is. Yasmine will give y'all a good post every day. I'm not. I'm just focused at work, and I wake up at the last minute so I can still be on time for work. So I'm like, I gotta be at work at 10 o'clock. I need to leave the house at 9:45. I can wake up at like 9:15. I don't give myself no space to really like do other things other than like be on time for work. So that's my agreement with my fashion friends. Is like, I'm gonna show you my outfit. I'm gonna kind of break down to you the styling of it, why it works, where I got it from. I'll send the links if it's something that's new. And then obviously if you want to shop it, people just DM me and they want whatever's on my body. And I'm like, okay, fine, just tell me when. And then I just want to encourage people, like, I'm not going anywhere special. Like you see posts and you're like, oh, she's on vacation. She's going to Nobu. She's on the front row at the Lakers game. Girl, I'm going up the street to an office that maybe have 2 people there, and I'm not getting dressed for either one of them people. Okay, right. I'm getting dressed for me and what I like, and I'm trying new things. I'm trying new styles. I'll tell you if I don't like an outfit, like, this wasn't my favorite. I thought I was gonna like it more. I show you what I was inspired by. If I got a picture offline, like, this is the outfit. This is how I reworked it. And then I show you some fashion finds that I thrifted in secondhand, because, fashion textiles are number 1 waste in the United States. And we don't have to, that doesn't have to be true. You can find, you can rework, you can rewear. And fashion is cyclical. So everything that they wore in the 60s is fashionable now. So let's try to go find something before we buy something new. So that's kind of my whole mindset about it.
I love it. And so again, I mentioned that we don't, and I'm going to touch on this thrifting thing. That's actually one of the notes I wrote. Again, our styles are different, but I make sure that I see the outfit of the day every day, because it is inspirational. It is like, oh, I do like that. I like how she put those colors together. Or it's like, it's just empowering to know that I can be going up the street and choose to look fly and not be worried. Like, I get so self-aware, self-conscious when on days that I record and then I walk to get my kids, because it never fails. Like, I'm going to have these conversations with moms about, like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Or like, and it's like, that makes me really uncomfortable. So, and it's like, no, I've made a whole friend, and like, because, and I don't know, it's just been a whole blessing to just go and just show up and just be me. And this woman, like, has texted me 3 times this week. I'm so glad we chat. I feel so encouraged after we talk. Thank you so much. And I'm just like, yo, I just had makeup on, and it started a conversation, and this woman has been blessed. Like, God used that to bless. So yes, I love what Shayna said about showing what would happen if you showed up as your full self. What would happen is people would be empowered, people would be inspired, people would see the God in you. So like, we owe it to God to just show up. Okay, you talked about thrifting. I'm telling you, Brandy, she is such a powerhouse. She is such an inspiration for sure. And it's like something like this, and I feel like some people are like, oh, okay, I'm not going to tune in this week because it's just about fashion or whatever. And I'm not really into clothes. You don't have to be, but you are into God, and God, like, you are a vessel, you are an instrument, and there is a certain way that instrument can be best tuned up, best like shined, and like, so it can really impact the world. And it doesn't mean glammed up or whatever. It just means whatever God lays on your heart for it to me.
Yeah, and let me add to that, it's like, hey, you don't have to be into fashion. Fashion is into you, because you have to put on clothes. Fashion is not an industry. It's literally the clothes that you decide to wear. So that's a misnomer to say, I'm not into fashion. You got to put on clothes every day. Now,
it's like, I'm not a foodie, but I got to eat.
Now, if the question is, am I overly concerned about what I wear? Do I know how to put things together? Do I understand how to dress my body type? Do I first notice people's clothing before I notice their hair or their makeup? Those are different conversations, but not being into fashion is impossible. It's one thing to say I'm not into art. You really don't have to look at art, go to art, have art. You got to put on clothes. So you got to figure out something, if you can't afford it or whatever. Those are different conversations. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, like, the only time in your spiritual life, because we know our spirits live on, that you're going to have the opportunity to decide what you wear, per my understanding, now y'all correct me if I'm wrong, is the time you have on earth. Okay? I don't know if we're going to get dressed in heaven. I didn't read that part. It might be in Revelations, because I ain't really gotten that far. But this is it. Why not explore all the things that God have given you to explore while we on this earth? Yes, I know we was born naked. Yes, I know clothes are part of the fall, but we here now.
Yeah.
And there's no way that the Lord created me to pay bills, be stressed out, be in traffic, try to find a husband, and die. No. Yeah. Something has to be for me. And
That's
fashion
real.
is for you. It does not need anybody else's permission. The only thing in your life, basically, I mean, outside of maybe like hair, but generally your presentation, you don't need permission. And if you're an introvert, fashion is the number one way to make friends without you having to be outgoing, because people are going to come to you. They're going
Yep,
to
facts.
compliment you. They're going to ask you. Easy. Well, I don't even have to try. I
Yeah.
literally don't have to try to make friends. People stop me all the time, and then I can just be like, "Oh, okay, girl. So where y'all going this weekend?"
That's true. That's true because I can be extroverted, but I'm not gonna start a conversation with you now. Once you start it, I'm gonna listen
I'll
and
be in
tune.
it.
But that's what happened at the playground of like, because I'm awkward. I'm new here. I don't know these moms. I miss my old mom friends. And like, no. And so I literally am so awkward when I walk to that school. But because I've been dressed a few times, it started conversation. So that's like facts. Okay, so I know I only got you for a few more minutes, ladies. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat now. Make sure you follow, subscribe, support, do all of that. Because this woman of God is a gem. She's also an executive director, so she got to do boss things. So we gonna make sure she gets off here in time. You have talked about thrifting. This I wrote this down because, like, not only is it good for the environment, it's good for your pockets.
Yes, it
It's
is.
so good for your pockets. And when you hear like, oh, Shayna is a stylist, or like I don't have time, or I don't have the money, the income to pay for a stylist, or I don't have money to go shopping. One, you can get you a stylist such as Shayna herself. Because I don't know. Look, this is who I am. I am like, I know what I'm good at. I can tell you about Jesus and make you feel like Jesus loves you. That, like, outside, I probably can't do much else except I'm a decent mom. Okay. But that I can do. So I'm all about letting everybody else do what they can do. And like, I know how to put on clothes. I can look decent if I need to, but to be styled, like I don't have that. So I'm all about paying somebody else to do what they do for me. I feel like that is a part of me, playing my role in the kingdom too, like one body and making sure every part of the body has an opportunity to do what they do. So I'm all about getting a stylist. It's not that expensive. It's also not that expensive to go shopping because, as Shayna talks about, thrifting. Y'all, I was anti-thrifting. My sister and my mom thrift all the time. And my sister, she stays fly. But I like, I can't do it. I don't even know. This is too much. It's overwhelming. But after having Shayna as my stylist, I now can go in and find a few things. But I much rather let Shayna do it. But when
And
I
you
need
don't have to compare yourself, not you, but the general you. Don't compare yourself to thrifters or people you see online and people have these big hauls. I tell people all the time, go into there, do one section and leave. And if you leave with something, fantastic. And if you don't, come back. Okay? Because it literally inventory every hour. Not even like at Macy's where it's every week, every hour is something new. And so you'll keep trying, but it can be overwhelming if you don't love it or you don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I love the advice you gave earlier of like, it just takes practice. It takes trial and error. So I love that Shayna, yes, is a stylist, but she is all about thrifting. She is all about like a sale. Like she will have a Walmart haul. She will have a Target clearance rack haul, like all of that. And it helps me. Shout out to my mom, $3 right here from Walmart, like $2 from dealers. Thanks to my sister. Like, you can look good for less. Okay. So I just had to shout out thrifting, you for thrifting, all that. And then you talked about for us women who are moms, and it may be like, well, I don't have time, I only got one day a week, all these things as a mom. I don't have time to get dressed. And I don't. And then I'm carrying all these kids and they bags. I can't carry my own bag. I get it. Trust me, that's why I lost myself. But we got Shayna on here so we can find ourselves. And sometimes you got to lose your life so you can find your life. You know what Jesus said. So, but getting dressed too becomes a part of your duty as a mom. Like, I'm telling you, as I've gotten more into, I get my nails done now. I'm about to go after this. More into getting dressed, getting my nails done, looking decent, best I can. My relationship with my daughters has even changed. Like, They're all about it. They got all the questions. They want to try this. They want to wear earrings. They want to find out why you do that, how you do that. They take their time. Shayna taught us something. I know I'm talking a lot, y'all, and it's because I'm sorry, but I just love her, and she has just blessed my life and my family's life, so I could just go on and on. But Shayna taught us there's a difference from getting dressed and being styled. And so my girls carried that literally this morning. Ella Rose put on her clothes and she was like, okay, who wants to style me? Because they style each other. So Bailey went over, cuffed her sleeves up, pulled her little tuck shirt out, pulled her socks up. Like, you are blessing families. If you are a mom, be encouraged to know, like, this stuff impacts the way you mother, the way you show up. And lastly, and I'm gonna give it back to you before we go, it impacts your marriage. Okay, yep, your husband know what's up. But when he comes home and I've intentionally gotten dressed for him, I mean, things change. So just know that fashion, whatever that is for you, it does matter. And it is a part of being that chick in Christ. It just really is. Okay, go. Any closing, inspirational, motivational words of advice?
My closing would be to follow me on Instagram at The Fashion Chase. And then remember that you're getting dressed for yourself. And what is attracting your husband or your kids or your coworkers, your friends, strangers, is the fact that you are radiating self-love and self-acceptance. Yes. And anytime you try to get dressed for other people or try to get dressed because you think they'll like this or their favorite color is that or their mama bought you this ugly Christmas sweater or whatever, it's not the same. And so find out who you are, do it on purpose. Don't be afraid to fail. Have grace with yourself. Have grace with other people, because we'll stay judging how short somebody else's dress is. Mind your business and have fun.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much, sis. I love you. I adore you. Thank you for your yes today. Y'all follow, go be impacted, because I'm telling you, she got my whole life together. I love y'all. Happy Friday. Side note, if you have not watched yesterday's video, please go watch yesterday's video, because these last 2 weeks, I've been like, okay, I know Jesus came last week. We had to celebrate. Okay. But if y'all don't mind, please watch if you haven't watched. And then if you don't want to, it's all right. It's all right. Enjoy your Friday. I love it. All right, y'all. Bye.